Hello YouTubers, I thought I would show you around my new Dell Streak 7, just showing you my phone and my iPod Touch just for a bit of screen comparison. Obviously the Samsung Wave is meant to have a really stonking screen, and it is interesting to see the differences between the three pieces of technology. Yes, also to show you a sort of size comparison. Okay, what I'm going to do in this video is take you through what the Dell Streak looks like, and all of its sockets and stuff like that, and then show you what kind of apps that I use, and then have a quick look at the camera settings, I think. So let's have a little butcher, shall we? On the front here we have the home screen button, the settings button, and the back button. On the top here we've got the front facing camera and a sensor and I think a microphone, and then you've got the touch screen itself. On the side we have the socket for the USB for charging and transferring to and from a computer. Then on the top we've got the microphone jack and a speaker. Here we have the power on button and the volume rocker. And then on the top here, well, top side, whatever you want to call it, we've got the slot for the SD card, and that's where the SIM card would have gone, but because this is the Wi-Fi only version, they've stuck a bit of plastic in there. Now whether you took that plastic out, you'd actually be able to use the SIM card or not, I don't know, and I ain't going to try because I don't want to void the warranty. And then we have a little speaker on the side there as well. On the back we've got the Dell sign, 5 megapixel camera with a flash, which I'll talk about a bit more in a minute. And then you've got quite a nice back to it, which feels quite nice. As far as sort of sturdiness is concerned, obviously it's not the same as having an iPad 2, it being made out of aluminium or steel or whatever it is, but it still feels quite sturdy and quite tough. And I think it's a Gorilla screen that's on it, and they're meant to be quite tough apparently. So let's have a look at the actual tablet itself. Okay, now as far as battery life is concerned, I fully charged this to 100% the night before last. Yesterday morning I used it for about 2.5 hours, fully, heavy use. Then I left it on standby for the rest of the day and sort of just checked my emails now and then throughout the day, and also had a quick look on YouTube and stuff like that. Then in the afternoon I used it for about another 2 hours, quite heavy use, checking emails, going on YouTube, going on Facebook, Twitter and all that sort of stuff. And then I left it until about 10 o'clock in the evening, where I was just checking emails now and then. And when I came to charge it up again, there was about 30% of battery life left on it. So for me, the battery did really, really well. I mean, that was 5 hours worth of heavy use in one day, and it still had 30% left. So I reckon you could probably get between 6 and 7 hours worth of heavy usage out of it. I watched a 30-minute video on YouTube which didn't seem to take the percentage down by that much, which I was quite impressed with. So as far as battery life is concerned, I think this does do a fairly decent job. Right, apps. Obviously I've got the Advanced Task Killer and Case Cleaner. Whether that makes a difference or not, I don't know. One of the ones that I would recommend is this Wi-Fi Shortcuts, which enables you to go into the Wi-Fi settings and turn the background data off, which I think is quite handy to do. Then you've got Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that sort of stuff. The Market app there, camera app, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Now, this one has been a lifesaver for me. The email app, which comes with the Dell Streak, I have about 3 or 4 different emails that I use. And I tried to put them into the Dell's email app, and it didn't really work. I managed to get a BT Internet one in there, but I couldn't put Yahoo or Hotmail in there, which was really annoying. And I had to use about 3 or 4 apps at a time to check my emails, which was just really doing my head in. I tried to look to see if I could find any settings that I could change or any way that I could make this work. And that's when I came across the mail droid. Now this has been a real lifesaver. Obviously I'm going to blot out the email addresses when I actually show this on YouTube, but as you can see there, I have 4 different email addresses. Now I had to tweak the settings for the top one, which is the BT Internet one, but as far as the others were concerned, I was able to put them in there straight away and it automatically found all of the settings, which was really handy. And that mail droid, you can find it on the market, and it has just been a real lifesaver for me, so I'm really chuffed with it. So if you're having any email problems with the Dell Streak 7, I would suggest you have a look at the mail droid and it might help you out. So let's have a look at the camera. So here we have the 5 megapixel camera. You have loads of settings that you can customize, which is really groovy. Store location, whatever that is. White balance, which is cool. You get the flash and you get a zoom, which is rather groovy. But you don't get the zoom in the video mode. 720p there, which is rather groovy. Auto white balance again. Now, what I would suggest, keep it on custom, because if you put it on high and then you want to do VGA, you can't. So in order to be able to have all of the resolutions available to you, I would go to these settings and put it in custom. That's the rear facing camera. Now to go to the front facing camera, you press the settings button and then this comes up. So you press front facing camera and it goes to the front facing camera, which is rather groovy. And there's my head. So similar settings, white balance and then that. So let's have a look at the camera. The stills camera is slightly different. Obviously there's no flash and no zoom. You've got 1.3 megapixel and VGA, which is rather groovy, and you've got your auto white balance, which is cool. So yeah, there you go, that's the camera. Now there probably is apps that you could use so that you can use a zoom in the video recording part of it. Whether they actually work on this or not, I don't know. Because I don't use the camera on this hardly at all, I don't bother with any camera apps because I don't see the point. So that's the camera. So yeah, there you go, that's my little quick review. Would I recommend this to anybody? It's difficult really. I think if you've got the money, it might be worth getting the Galaxy Tab only because of the screen and the battery life. If the screen and the battery life isn't a problem, then I would say that this is a good tablet to get. It does get a little bit quirky sometimes, and I have noticed that sometimes when I'm on the internet or on YouTube, I do have a few problems with it, where the Wi-Fi will just sort of have trouble connecting to YouTube. But then I think that's my Wi-Fi and not the actual tab itself. I would say at least have a look at it, because it is a nice tablet. I do really like it, and I have found it a real pleasure to use. I think if I was to change anything on it, it would be to change the socket to a USB socket and to improve the battery life to sort of make it a couple of more hours longer. So there you go, that's my little review on the Dell Streak 7. Hope you're having a good day, and I'll do some more later on. Bye bye for now.